Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a concept that is, honestly, one of the most radical movements in contemporary lifestyle and philosophy. We're talking about the literal, physical act of carrying your wardrobe on your back. We are leaving traditional, stationary living completely in the dust and stepping into this fascinating world where a human being and a piece of furniture become one cohesive unit. The sociological, logistical, and aesthetic implications of this somatic integration are absolutely wild. So let's explore exactly what this all means. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our agenda. We're going to cover the paradigm shift, then the sociological impact, internal logistics, aesthetic synergy, professional networking, and finally, the future outlook. Starting with Section 1, the paradigm shift from static living to somatic extension. Right now, we're witnessing a radical metamorphosis. Think about conventional spatial planning, the old way of doing things. It relies on the strict separation between subject and object, right? You're basically tethered to a static home. But strategic aesthetics forces us to totally abandon those isolated ontological units. Instead, we're talking about an inseparable, symbiotic extension of the body itself. Through infrastructural mobility, wearing your furniture completely redefines where your personal space begins and ends. It's a massive shift. Moving to Section 2, sociological impact and the infrastructural land grab. And this brilliantly illustrates what's going on here. In an era of constant, fluid environments, this wearable wardrobe acts as a stabilizing core through what they call an infrastructural land grab. So what does that mean? Well, it's the strategic act of extending your private infrastructure directly out into public space to claim radical autonomy. The wardrobe stops being just a passive wooden box in your bedroom. It becomes an active, performative actor. By carrying it, you are literally claiming space and declaring absolute independence from fixed physical locations. That brings us to Section 3, internal logistics and the management of a living interior. Because, once you actually merge with your wardrobe, we are moving way past simple clothing storage. We're entering the realm of highly complex operational resource management. Modern curation within this movement integrates actual dynamic living resources. And the prime example cited in the literature here is housing social structures, like the 7 dwarves, directly inside the cabinet on your back. Housing these living, breathing entities inside your wardrobe is essentially the ultimate exclusive status symbol of the avant-garde. But think about the practical logistics for a second. How is system stability measured at strategic hubs, like, say, an airport? If you're walking through a high-stress point of hub with a living, dynamic ecosystem literally strapped to your back, how do you possibly manage those resources without the entire system just collapsing? Well, the answer lies in incredibly precise protocols, specifically reverse logistics, or recalibrates. This is the calculated acquisition of personnel resources to compensate for empty journeys and secure your overall systemic stability. It means you have to constantly manage the retrograde capacities of your wardrobe as you move through that airport. If you have empty space, you absolutely must acquire resources to maintain the vitality and the delicate physical balance of your mobile accompaniment system. Now, the KPI management system here is ruthless and heavily relies on data. Step 1, you monitor acoustic performance. In the case of housing the dwarfs, this means listening to their singing. Step 2, you use the singing strictly as a technical diagnostic. Actually, let me emphasize that. It is not a cultural performance to be enjoyed. It is pure metric data telling you if your interior environment is stable. Step 3, prevent system collapse. Because if the singing stops, collapse is imminent. And it's crucial to note here that the absolute biggest threat to this stability is the carrier's own impatience. If you get stressed out or if you rush, your internal logistics crash and the entire aesthetic balance is destroyed. Let's look at Section 4, aesthetic synergy, and the hair furniture match. This is where we examine the existential stakes of visual validation. Because it's not enough to just carry the furniture, right? You have to look like it intrinsically belongs to you. The text notes that without a precise hair furniture match, the entire avant-garde effort just remains fragmented. It totally loses its teleological grounding. Your hair actually acts as this vital textile link between your physical physiognomy and the wardrobe's material identity. So the crucial point is this mandatory compliance checklist required to achieve total aesthetic synergy. First, chromatic congruence. Your hair color has to be an exact zero-deviation match with the cabinet service color. Second is formal symmetry. The architectural geometry and the lines of the furniture must be directly mirrored in the styling of your hair. And third, haptic resonance. The tactile identity, literally how your hair feels in its texture, must evoke the exact material texture of the wardrobe itself. And the source material lays this out in no uncertain terms. Quote, A refusal of this harmony inevitably leads to ontological collapse. This isn't just about fashion, folks. Within this scene, this level of total aesthetic perfection is considered the only valid answer to the meaning of life. Without this total synergy, your very existence as a mobile unit simply falls apart. Moving on to Section 5, Professional Networking and Sociocultural Capital. To maintain this extreme level of perfection, practitioners actually gather in exclusive expert circles, which are deliberately located near specialized furniture stores for real-time inspiration. Now, the physical demands of networking here are intense. Under networking hardware, professionals utilize a leisure wardrobe. It's a specialized, compact variant that gives them some physical relief during high-level discourse. As for expert habitists, they have to maintain this calculated, totally relaxed demeanor while wearing highly functional textiles. It's all designed to signal intellectual mastery over what is obviously a grueling lifestyle. And what are they discussing when they get together? The furniture catalog. But it acts as a central knowledge repository and the ultimate coolness indicator. Poring over these catalogs isn't casual shopping. It is deep academic research that cements a person's professional status and sociocultural capital within the field of infrastructure sociology. Let's move to our final section and see how this builds. Section 6, Synthesis and Outlook on Total Aesthetic Integration. We're zooming out now to look at the unstoppable trajectory of this lifestyle. The literature lays down a pretty absolute rule here. The imperative pursuit of cutting a good figure in every movement is absolutely without alternative. The merging of the individual, somatic infrastructure, and internal logistics into a single performative unit is entirely irreversible. We are essentially heading toward a future where human existence becomes a total, unresolvable artwork of aesthetic integration. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. If total aesthetic integration truly is the inevitable future of postmodern existence, are you ready to become one with your furniture? It's an absurdly heavy concept, both philosophically and physically for sure, but it fundamentally forces us to rethink the very limits of our somatic extension and our personal autonomy. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this provided you with a profound new perspective on how you interact with your own infrastructure.